All right, good evening. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Larson Life Group. Those of you that have been hanging with me live are like, why is he reintroducing this whole thing? It is for those on the replay. I don't have the people on replay watch all of the announcements and leaderboards that are going to be irrelevant in 6 months. So I like to hit record just for the content piece of this. So I'm really excited to bring up our guest for tonight. Let me go ahead and spotlight her. I'm going to join you up here. All right, Miss Sarah Reineke, and you are not a stranger to this team at all, are you?
No, no.
No,
I love these people. I
I
mean, seeing
know.
those boards, seeing those leadership levels change, seeing 30,000 in issued business, like it's just the best. This business is the best. This culture is the best. This agency is the best. Just can't believe that's what I get to do for a living. It's my job. Unbelievable.
Right,
Unbelievable turnaround.
right.
Yeah.
For those that don't know you well, can you introduce yourself? Can
Yeah.
you what brought you to Symmetry in the first place?
Yeah, for sure. Hi guys, my name is Sarah Reineke. My husband Jared and and his middle name is Thunder. If you wondered, like on his birth certificate, it's Jared Thunder Reineke.
I
You
I
didn't know
didn't even
this?
know I didn't even
Yeah,
know that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought that was like some cool high
I
school
know,
nickname that stuck forever.
I know. And you're like, what kind of a nickname makes it to the leader? No, middle name, his dad's middle name was Thunder as well. And if we would have had a boy, it would have been Rhett Thunder Reineke, but he was blessed with two little girls. So,
I need to
yeah.
know where this started. It had to have been a prank in the family or
Well,
something.
that his dad, who named the grandpa that named him, his friend was a stunt pilot that died while he was stunt piloting, and he went by Thunder something, and so then he was like, "I'm going to name you
Okay.
Thunder." So it was a pilot that died that was a friend of the grandpa, so he named him Thunder, and then his dad was like, "We need to pass this on." So he is literally Jared Thunder Reineke. Yeah, birth
That's
certificate. So
pretty cool.
we're managing vice presidents here. We're direct to Jacob Pogue in the Marshall Whalen hierarchy. I love that I just have two little names to say, but they are not little names. I'm forever grateful that those two dudes kept this very, very simple for me because I'm a simple girl too. And also direct to the company and an equity partner and serve on the advisory board, which all those things mean I get to serve all of you, everybody in this company for a living, which is awesome. It is awesome. So yeah, grateful to be here. You want me to tell you how I got here too?
Yeah, let's talk about how you got here.
Yeah, I've been here 5.5 years, y'all. I'm a teacher by trade and education, even though it's been 11 years. I taught 16 years. Got my master's and my specialist degree, which you talk about a Ponzi scheme. Like you spend thousands of dollars on a degree to make $250 more a year. You're like, this math never mathed, but it was the only way to make more money. You just keep getting degrees in the education world. And I loved the impact. I loved the kids. But I brought home $2,400 a month as a teacher with all those degrees, two teacher of the year awards. I was a good teacher. Didn't matter. Was paid the same as the guy across the hall. So because of that, I didn't need mansions and Ferraris, but I did want to get my nails done and maybe take a family vacation. And how would I pay for braces or prom dresses? Those things haunted me in my sleep. Like, how will I ever pay for those extra things that would come along because there was not enough month, or not enough money for the month. Like as a teacher, you get paid once a month on the 20th. So between the 15th and the 20th, teachers aren't going to Sonic. You're not getting fast food. You wait until your payday hits and then you've already spent it on all your bills. So because of that, I actually had three part-time jobs, Jim, along with Rodan and Fields. Jared had a good job, but we had three kids. So if you guys know, kids are expensive. And so we were just at a place where we couldn't catch up, could not catch up, no matter how hard we tried. And a friend of mine actually introduced me to a skincare company in direct sales. I swore I'd never be that girl. Jared signed me up in my sleep, and he takes full credit for that. And that company actually was really good to me, taught me a lot, took me all over the world, and I loved it until I didn't. And I'll tell you, the point where I didn't love that direct sales business was when I could no longer say with integrity, "Do what I did, you can have what I have."
Mm.
It wasn't true anymore. And I remember being in Banff, Canada, actually at a leadership retreat, and they asked me to speak to all these people, and they were looking at me with like, "Tell me it's going to be good," and I was like, my skin hurt. My skin hurt because I'm very authentic. I'm very honest. And I thought, I'm not being honest with these girls. I cannot say this with integrity. And I knew I had to pivot. I knew I had to change because that just wasn't true. And I couldn't build anymore. I couldn't do that. And so I sold that December of 19. And so I had money in the bank, but I was bored. I realized I'm an achiever. I realized if I don't have a mission, I'm like a shark. If I'm not moving forward, I'm just like on my belly. I watched Gilmore Girls for like 2 weeks straight. Jared was like, "You're broken." I'm like, "I know. I don't know what to do." So I looked at real estate. You know, you and I were both kind of in um, a weird place in our lives where we knew we had to pivot. We knew something had to shift. We knew we were unemployable. We're like, God, we can't be employed. Like, what would that look like? But we wanted to make a lot of money. So for me, I'll speak for myself. I need to make a lot of money. I'll work a lot.
We didn't hit the part for people that we knew each other. We
Yeah,
were in this Rodan and Fields
yeah,
business together. We
yeah,
felt the decline together at this
yes,
point. We were friends at this point. So I'll
yes.
let you continue.
Yeah, and also had really hard breakups there. We were used a lot for training and things like that. And whenever we felt scared, we were not treated well at all. Learned a lot of lessons through that about how to treat people. But yeah, I just knew I needed to pivot. And I looked at real estate, looked at State Farm. State Farm, I didn't pass the personality test. Hilarious. Yeah. First thing they hired me and they said, take a personality test. And they were like, I'm sorry, you're no longer fit. I was like, did I just fail the personality test? This is the worst. And I had to go tell Jared Thunder that I'd failed a personality test. He was like, could have saved you the test as he was like stirring dinner. And I was like, shut up. So that actually got me thinking about insurance. So I'm super grateful for that. And I think you and I were talking about it. And so if you guys are going to write something down, how Jim Larson uh, got me to listen to this business was, hey, dude, if you're looking at State Farm, you should look at this. I think that was pretty much it.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that much more myself at
Yeah.
that point. I wasn't going to answer any questions for you because I
Yeah.
didn't know any answers.
And this was towards the end of February of 2020. So just to give you guys an idea, about a month prior, and at this point, Jamie Susie and I had met at business coaching school, another one of Jim's ideas. You'll notice a pattern there. She and I had met, become friends at that point. And Jim had told Jamie and I, I'm doing this insurance thing. You'll be surprised. Jamie and I were like, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. This is dumb. Jim is doing insurance. Like, who would do insurance? Lame, dumb. Like, we were talking real bad about you. I'm very sorry now. Say it in front of everybody. We thought it was ridiculous. And so, but after the State Farm thing came along, I had done some research and I was like, man, insurance is kind of a thing. It's a $1 trillion industry. Like, I'm so grateful for that because it just opened my mind a little bit of a crack. And so here's what Jim did that was very, very smart. Whenever he reached out, I was like, fine, I'll listen. And he put me on the phone directly with Jacob Pogue. He didn't even try to sell me at all. He just put me on the phone with Jacob. I don't even think you said another word to me about it. You just let Jacob go from there. And I will tell you guys, I was a tough fish. So if you're recruiting and building, which I hope you are, sometimes when you have those people that are like, God, they have one more question. I was that girl. I had a lot of questions. Uh, because if in my mind, if I'm going to commit, I'll commit. I'll be here. I will be here, but I have to know it's the right place. So if you're anything like me, that's how my mind works. So I was like, all right, Jacob Pogue, I've got one more question for you. And I think out of sport, he just kept playing with me like a cat, with a mouse. But it checked off all the boxes for me. And finally, I was like, all right, Jim, I'm in. And then I called Seuss and I was like, you should do this insurance thing. So that was my beautiful message to her. I'm doing this insurance thing. You should do it too. And she's like, fine, you're not getting rich without me. So I mean, here I do research for 3 weeks. Seuss is like, fine, you're not getting rich. Her level of FOMO kept her like, God, if Reineke gets rich and I don't, I'll never forgive myself. So I'm in. Yeah. So that was March of 2020, y'all. And I'm going to tell you one more piece to that is that I said yes March 1st. We all know what happened March 15th ish of 2020, right? I'll put yourself back in that place. It was a very weird time. And if you don't know, the business model of this company was in the home. You dial appointments and you go into their homes. So they had been hockey stick growth for 13 years with that business model, and on a dime, it was blown up. But what I saw in that moment, which this will tie into what we're talking about today, I watched the founders of this company and the leadership that was here, like Cicely and Ayers, like Sarah Pappas, like Brian Delaney, Miranda Martin, Andrew Jimenez, Jacob Pogue. They were all like, how do we get better? What do we do? How do we pivot? Within a week, they had a plan, they had training, no one cried, no one whined, they pivoted. And guys, their business model was blown up. They had to pivot in a big way. within a week or two, they had new trainings out and they just kept going. And I remember telling Jared, I'm like, man, if this leadership can lead through something like this, they can lead through anything. I'll follow them anywhere. The other thing that I noticed, guys, this is why it's important to be camera on and plugged into things. I didn't get to get my license for 2 months because if the post office was shut down, so were the testing centers. You couldn't get your test. I couldn't get a test taken, but I was on every call. I was soaking it up. I was looking at people's faces. And I was like, man, people are happy here. It was like Narnia, right? Like this was May of 2020. The news was terrible. Everybody, Target was terrible, Walmart's terrible. You couldn't leave your house. And I would get on these calls and I'm like, people are happy here. They love getting on these calls. They're smiling, they like each other. I was like, this is incredible. That's important, guys. Like how you show up on these calls matters because Sarah Reineke was watching you, right? I was watching at that time. And so Jamie did come along and we got started June of 2020. And somewhere in there, Jim quit. You all know the story. And then he came back later. Thank goodness. But I'm forever grateful. And I send messages to Jim often. And I haven't done it lately. And I'm sorry about that. I'll tell it in front of everybody. Jim Larson, I am forever grateful that you said, hey, dude, if you're looking at this, you should look at State Farm. Our family is different. Our future is different. Our kids are better. My marriage is stronger. Our finances are 110% better. We are in a completely different world when it comes to finances, and I never, ever, ever would have been. We've traveled the world. Our cars are paid off because I listened to that message. So thank you for thinking enough of me, of sending that message because it forever changed my life. There you go.
Imagine inviting someone into business. They come into business, you find it's hard, you leave, and they end up growing a multi-million-dollar agency that you are no longer in the front of,
Yeah.
and you've got to tuck your tail and be like, can I come back? But I'll be under you this time. That happened.
Yep.
That's a real story.
Yeah. I'm glad you
Um,
did. You made it better. So
I'll tell you though, I mean, I needed, and I've shared this on so many calls, never underestimate, and this is another plug for conference, never underestimate the importance of seeing somebody that makes you think if they can do it, I can do it. When I came in the first time, I came direct to Jacob Pogue. I didn't know Jacob Pogue. I didn't know anybody here. And so I'm seeing the leaderboards and I'm seeing people and I'm hearing names, but like, oh, Scott Mank did this. And I'm literally like, good for him. I don't know him. He might have a cape in the closet. He might be Superman. That just because he did something doesn't mean I'm going to do it. I knew none of these people. But when
yeah.
I watched Jamie and Sarah do it, I knew them. So I said, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. That was the only reason that gave me the courage to come back. Was I had someone that I could look at and say, if they can do it, I can do it. It's why I want you at conference because I know how important that is to your story. And I want you to hear and see and meet people so you can find someone that gives you that feeling too.
For sure.
Yep.
For
All
sure.
right.
All right. What do you want to talk about?
I brought you on to talk about resets
Don't
because
sit on them, Jim. Don't sit on the
don't
reset.
sit on resets. And those of you watching the replay and didn't hear this up front, we titled this call Don't Sit on Resets because Sarah's agency has become one of the top resetting agencies, and I have been having this conversation on resets with her for about a year. And she's like, I'm going to embrace this, I'm going to train this, I'm going to teach this, I'm going to show this. And little by little, it is like really morphed into this is a huge part of her business. She's leading the way on it. So I'm like, Sarah, I need to like learn this. I need you to talk to my agents about this. Like, I want to be a resetting agency. And she's like, that's great. We'll have on the call. And then she texts me and she goes, don't sit on resets. And I'm like, Sarah, I don't want to sit on resets. Like, that's why I'm having you on my call. She's like, no, that's the title of the call. I'm like, okay. All right, that's the title of the call. It wasn't your mom hat. You do wear your mom hat with me a
I
lot.
know.
It
I
is
know.
it is hard for me to differentiate sometimes.
I'm sorry. My eighth graders used to say, Miss Reineke, you kind of pierced my soul, is what they would say. And I'm like, I don't mean to. So if I've ever pierced your soul, maybe I mean to. Sometimes I don't mean to, but it happens. It's an after my mom gave me this look, just happens. So sorry. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I actually appreciate your mom hat a lot because my brain goes 1,000 miles in different directions. So Okay. I want to talk about resets. So first
Good.
of all, let's start with what sparked your commitment to wanting to be a resetting agency. What opportunity did you see in the reset to say, hey, we're going to make this a major focus of what we're doing?
Yeah. And it's been 2.5 years in the making that I've been working on this. It's not a quick turn. This becoming a resetting agency is not a just tomorrow. And I hope the very simple thing I want to say to all of you, it is the easiest and fastest way for all of you to make a whole lot more money. Put a one in the chat if making $5,000 more a month passively next month would make a difference. Oh, you already put ones. Yes, yes, yes. Everybody wants to make an extra 5 grand, and I'm going to tell you the easiest way to do that. I'm always looking for the easiest way to do that. So for you right now, that's why you want to listen to what I'm saying today. What got me started in this? A couple of things. I'm really coachable and I am really loyal to the founders of this company. I trust them. I get on every national call. I don't miss it. I don't. I don't miss a national call for several reasons. One, I think I want to hear from the founders themselves. It helps me kind of keep a true north mentality of like, because when you're by yourself in your home office, you can start like, is this a real company? Did I dream this up? Are they all paid actors? You can start making yourself crazy. When you get on the national call, you're like, oh, it's a big company, big people, big CEOs that work here. I want to hear from the founders. I also want to see my white rabbits. I want to find people that I need to chase. And I've been picking off white rabbits for 5.5 years. They don't know I'm picking them off, but I have been one at a time. And I know exactly who's on the next level of leadership. Capistrano, got Cook over there, you're over there, and Susie on the base shops direct. I know exactly where everyone is. You got to know where you are. You can't be in denial of that, right? So I don't miss national calls. And I also will tell you, corporate leaves clues. Corporate leaves clues. And a lot of times they're really obvious clues. Okay, write that one down. Corporate leaves clues. And on national calls, they leave clues. Okay, if you're watching national calls right now, what are they hyper focused on? Just put in the chat. What are some things that they're putting on leaderboards that they're talking about a lot? They're talking about conference right now. They're talking about resets right now. Yes, resets, conference, digital leads. Yes, funnel. Yes, 5K weeks, 10K weeks, 20K weeks. They found that people that have the most 5K weeks are the most profitable. 10 and 20 are bonus. The people that have the most consistent 5K weeks, those agents are the most profitable and stay the longest. That's why they changed it to that. So I watch National Call for that reason too. They leave clues. I know exactly what their focus is on. I know when they're having their meetings, what are they talking about? Those same things. So, okay, if that's the direction they're headed, then looks like Reineke needs to go in that direction too. That's one big reason. And I remember 2.5 years ago, they brought up this for the first time about like ask a question. Do you have any old 401ks lying around that you're no longer contributing to? I put a post out because I'm coachable and I got a bite. I was like, oh no, what do I do with this now? And it was warm market. I know them pretty well. They live here. I mean, guys, I went there just like I did at my only in-home appointment that went as bad as it could have ever gone. That 2020 year was my first annuity appointment where I was like, hi, I'm here to talk about that money. I mean, I did not know what I was talking about, but I understood. I was like, I'm gonna figure it out. Everything I've done here, I figured it out. And they had a guy that was before Jeff Sigworth that was the guy to call. I called him. He talked to her. He put it in. This was June, probably 3 years ago. And we got it done. We got it done. They put in $250,000. And I was like, yeah, exactly. It's totally, I knew we were going to do that. I was like, how did that even happen? But here's what happened after that. 3 weeks later, I got a deposit for $7,000. I was like, holy bleepity bleep.
And all you did was put up
Make
a
a post,
Facebook post.
go to her house, could put him on the phone, and then he did all the work. And then I was like, thank you very much. And I got $7,000 in my bank account. And I was like, what is this? I want more. So that's one reason. After that happened, I got in Jeff Sigworth's pocket. I was like, Jeff, I want to know more. I want to know more about this. Like, how can I learn more? How can I do more of this? It was awkward as can be, but $7,000 for one like referral seems like I need to do more of that. I need to know more. And so I started bugging him a lot. I think I bugged him enough that he invited me to Advisors Excel, which if you guys don't know what Advisors Excel is, it's in Topeka, Kansas. It is this company. It is the biggest annuity group in the company or in the country. They have 900 employees, 900 in Topeka, Kansas, right up the road. They have the most amazing culture. One day of the month, they wash all the employees' cars. They feed them breakfast and lunch. Like, it is a beautiful company. And I was like, oh, this is why Quility partnered with them. They're incredible too. Their people love it there. It is a beautiful place. So Advisors Excel is like houses all of our annuities. So your SMEs get to use Advisors Excel as a resource, as a referral to help them illustrate, to make sure it's the right product, which makes this thing way safer and way better for your clients. I'm like, whoa, this is big. This is a big company. Advisors Excel is a big company. We've partnered with them. Interesting. Okay. So here's what I understood advice, which is the first kind of boot camp. I will tell you, I learned number one, it was like a calculus class I didn't mean to sign up for, when you're looking to the person on the left and the right. I'm like, I can't even cheat effectively because I don't even know what you guys are writing down. I don't want to do this. I don't want to write these products. It's too many check boxes, too many details. I would screw it up 100 times over. I understood that. Number two, I was like, if Quility has partnered with this big company, Advisors Excel, obviously, corporate leaves clues, annuities are going to be a big part of what we do. Okay, noted. I've just got to find people that are good at this so we can refer. Noted. That's what I left knowing. And I was like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. Here's another clue. 3 years ago, advanced markets were like 33% of our overall APV, then 38, and I think last year it was 43%. What does that tell you? Corporate leaves clues. Very, very soon, advanced markets going to be 50% of that growing chart on that corporate overview slide. This year, we're going to be a $400 million company. About 50% of that is going to be coming from advanced market. Corporate leaves clues. So Jim, easy math. If it's going to be 50% of corporate numbers, how much of Larson agency should it be?
50% if we're following trends.
Would you guys agree? In my mind, I was like, okay, looks like this should be 50% of Reineke agency. Goal. Right now, it is 0%. At that time when I learned about it, I was like, okay, well, only going up from here. And I also looked around. I got to know Scott Forehand. I got to know Ruth Slingo. I met some of these people and I'm like, they're making a ton of freaking money. It's like this other world out here, this advanced market world. Like, what is this? So I got curious. That's why I love that you use that word. I got real curious. I got close to a whole lot of people that are doing this. I asked them questions. And I'll tell you what I did first, Jim, is I didn't have a resetting team. I had a team, but I did not have a resetting team. So what I had to do was I had to use Scott Forehand. I had to use Ruth Slingo. I had to use people outside of our agency because we didn't have anybody in our agency yet that could do it. I gave up commission. I gave up commission because I wanted to earn trust and I wanted to grow awareness around resets while I grew a team. Okay, so this was 2 years ago, August, whenever we started this process. Since then, now we have 4 solid SMEs. Lisa Abusnini has been with me. She went to Advisors Excel with me a long time ago. She's doing an incredible job. Josh Ditar left Edward Jones after 15 years to come over and work advanced markets. Somehow I sold him to come over on this dream. I was like, you said yes to me. Like, you're crazy. Said yes to me to come over to build this thing. Greg Spink came over. Some of you met him. He has some experience. Guys, Greg Spink has been here since February. He made $50,000 in deposits in the last 2 months being an SME, and that was on a warm market. And then Ian is part-time. My goal in the Reineke Direct, so that's outside of even you guys, right? So Reineke Direct, that's outside of Seuss. I want to have 10 well-fed SMEs by the end of next year. When I say 10 well-fed SMEs, that is 10 SMEs that are busy and can barely keep up with the amount of referrals they're getting. And until we're there, I'm not done. Okay. So going back, why I'm excited about this, it is the easiest way for you to make extra money, which we can talk about that. It is a win for these SMEs that do the work, that earn the street cred, go to the boot camps, that do the studying and earn the business. SME's job is not to just sit back and wait like a Venus flytrap. If you're an SME, your job is to grow awareness and to build relationships and to grow trust and become that expert within your agency. And it's a win for your clients, guys. Last but not least, they are so happy with these products. When you put them in a debt-free life or an IUL or you put them in an annuity, they are thrilled. They're super excited. So it truly is. It's good for the heart button too. It's a win-win-win for all of them. There you go.
So I love that. Now, here's the inevitable
Yep,
question.
let's do it.
You're going to have so many people be like, I want to be an SME. All this,
Perfect.
it's raining money. But let's talk about who should be an SME
Yep.
and who should leverage the SMEs.
Yes, love it. I'm super passionate about this. Okay. So let me just know if after I just said that, like what Greg just made, by the way, that was his own business. Like that's warm market. That wasn't reset to him. Some of it was. Most of it wasn't though. It was warm market, which he's really good at. So put a 2 in the chat if you're like, I'm kind of interested. Maybe I want to be an SME and make that kind of money. I just want to kind of know. Are there anybody in here who like I would like to do this at some point? Cool. We need you. Okay, because let me do some math. Let me do some math. Where's my new calculator? Sissy just got me a new one. How did I lose my new calculator already? Someone else can do some math. Oh, wait, there it is. All right. Jim, how many writers a week do you have in your master agency?
100.
Okay. 100 writers a week. Okay.
No, I'm
I
looking over
feel
here.
like that's a
That's a
lot.
really good week. That's a
Okay.
great week. Let's call it 70.
Okay. So 70 writers, and then let's say they are sitting, everyone sits with 10, right? Everybody? Mom hat. Okay, let's maybe we're not all sitting with 10. Let's say 5 on average. We got some new writers, we've got some top producers. So let's just multiply that times 5 sits. Okay. So that means sales or no sales sits. So that means in your master agency, there should be 350 sits, conservatively speaking, a week. Okay. Now, Sigworth will say 25% of those should land in a reset. Ike Manello will say 80%. Okay. He says 80. He's like, it could be 90, but I'll stick with it. Oh, okay, Ike. Okay, so let's just stick with Sigworth. Very conservative, 25% of that. So we're gonna say times 0.25. So every week you should have in Larson Master 90 reset appointments sent out. 90 a
We
week.
don't we don't have that many.
You don't have that many. And let's say you did. How many resetters right now do you have ready to write IULs, annuities on their own, DFL like bosses? How 3 or 4? I don't know.
We've got like we've have Michelle, Jenny's up and coming. Joe does a couple of them. So we have very few that are like all three. Some are like annuities, IULs, not DFL.
Yep.
Some of them are like DFL, IUL, not annuities.
Yep.
So I even have to go through my own roster to be like, okay, all of you guys that have been through the boot camp, exactly what can you get on our roster for? Because this has been such a non-priority to me. I can't even answer that question.
All right, Jim. I'm gonna pierce your soul. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's just say, so we have 90, let's just say, so in Larson Master, 90 sits a week or 90 resets a week. How many should he have in his mastery? How many good solid SMEs should he have that would be well fed? 9 or 10. If they were all getting, Joe, if you were getting 10 reset sent to you every single week, would you be a happy camper? For sure you would.
Yeah, Joe would not mind that.
10 or 12 would be great. So honestly, you need 10. So I like the people that said yes. Okay, so let's talk on both sides of this. If you are interested in this, where I'm like, I found out new, Reineke should not be in charge of anyone's retirement. Bad idea. I can't even, we come out of the airport and I'm like, turn left. Jared's like, it's right. I don't know my Apple ID password. Bad idea. I have a different skill set. It's not in annuities.
And let me
So,
chime in on that point really quickly here, guys. There are three ways here you can make a lot of money, and if you get really good at any one of them, you're gonna make a lot of money. One of those is converting leads to business.
yep.
If you get very good in the producing world of converting leads to business, you are gonna make a ton of money.
Yep.
One of them is building. If you get really good at recruiting, onboarding, casting a vision, building an agency, you're going to make a ton of money. The third is advanced markets. So don't get in your head, I've got to do advanced markets to make money here. Sarah's even telling you that was not my thing. I'm going to tell you, I am a builder. I cast vision. I will probably go get certified because I think I have a lot of people in my neighborhood that I'm going to
For
help
sure.
in Warm Network. I probably won't even be on the SME roster, but I'm going to help my own Warm Network. But I've already mastered the building part of this. So don't get in your head, I have to be SME or I'm not making money.
Nope. Okay. So here's what I want to tell you. I want to talk to both sides. Those of you that said, yes, I want to be an SME or brand new SMEs. And this is just the policy we have in Reineke Direct, and it's probably going to be similar over here, is that if you want to be a good SME, you need to be a good kicker first. If you have not kicked out 10 to 15 to an SME, then you're not really ready to be the SME yet. This is why it's slow. Jim, this may take you a year to get to 10,
Mhm.
right? And that's okay. You'd rather do this slowly but surely. I've made mistakes trying to do it faster. So don't make the same mistakes I did. If you want to be a good SME, be a good kicker first. Ride along with somebody else, ride along with Michelle or whoever else that you want to do. Um, 10 to 15 of those, get yourself a couple of promotions, right? And be here 6 months and get to a boot camp. Those are the four things that we can't say require, but kind of our guidelines. Have you been here 6 months? Have you done 10 to 15 ride-alongs, meaning anecdotally, have you taken notes and learned stuff from watching somebody who's good at this, put in some business or even not put in business, but you learn something from it? 10 to 15 is a good number to where you're going to start feeling comfortable because guys, this is people's retirement. This is their debt. This is important stuff. So if you think you want to be an SME, you decide now, I'm going to be a really good kicker. And that goes back to production, the number one way to make money. So if you're sitting with 10 families a week right now, I want you to start tracking how many of those are kicked out to a reset. Remember, 25% should. So every week, your goal should be 10 sits and 2 to 3 resets at a minimum. Whatever you focus on grows. You're going to start realizing, like, man, I've gone 3 weeks with 0 resets kicked out. Ike Manillo's taken 8 of them. If you didn't catch my master call last week with Ike, the beginning had the worst technology. I threw my computer away after it. So skip that and get to the good stuff. He gave really, 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 if someone wants to find it and stick it in the chat on how to be a good resetter, how to be the best resetter, he gave all the good advice last week. So if you want to be an SME, you're hearing me say this, be a good kicker first, because I will tell you, it does not work for you to go to a boot camp and be like, I'm an expert now, send them to me. I'd like to make lots of money. Thank you very much. It just doesn't work. If you're on the board as a resetting agent, making some money, you're like, hey, if you send one to Joe and then Joe's like, hey, great reset from Aaron Beck, we're splitting this commission, whatever. And if Aaron wants to become an SME and you see Aaron on the board being a good kicker to Joe over and over, are you going to be more or less likely to trust Aaron with that business? Way more likely. Aaron has felt both sides of the fence with this. Okay. We like 6 months because we want to make sure you love it here. I don't want to invest in this. I don't want you to go to a boot camp if you don't love it here. If symmetry is not your home, we want symmetry to be your home. So 6 months, a couple of promotions. We want you to write some mortgage protection because if Joe is only, sorry, Joe, you're right in front of me. If he's like, I get 10 resets a week and this is great. Well, what if 1 week or 2 weeks he only gets 3 or 4? Joe needs to know how to write some mortgage protection to pay the bills. He wants to keep a for people mentality, not a from them. So that's why we want you to be able to write some mortgage protection. And again, 10 to 15 ride-alongs. And I would encourage you to try different ones. Learn from different people. You're going to pick up on different things along the way. But that's a way that you're going to make a lot of money as a producer, and you're going to help those SMEs grow their business as well. Does that make sense? I'm kind of just the process with that.
Yep. And I put that down in the comments there, guys. If you want to be a SME, be sitting with 10 families a week, refer out 10 to 15 clients to an SME, promote to 90%. You'll have to finish all the advanced market training in HQ's learning management system, the LMS, and you've got to attend an in-person boot camp.
Yeah.
Then you've got to do the ride-alongs, do those things. And that's why this is not a fast process. And if you wait to do these things to start making money, you're going to go broke. You got to be in the field making money doing this process as part of it with a long-term vision.
Right now, the thing to do is sit with 10 families a week and get better at 2 to 3 out to a reset.
Yep.
10, 2 to 3 out to a reset. That's what everybody on this call can do right now. And it's truly a matter of asking a few questions. Also, throwing out on social media. Would you be interested in getting out of debt 8 to 9 years, including your mortgage, without paying anything new? Most people are. Right?
Sure.
Do you have an old 401k lying around you're no longer contributing to? When you're with family, ask around. So many people have that. Those rollovers, the way that Greg was able to make that money, rollovers, he can spot them a mile away. people have old 401ks lying around or old IRAs lying around they're no longer contributing to, and that's a way to really help them and help your business grow as well. And on average, when I mentioned about the extra 5,000 a week, if you are sending out two a week, so your minimum should be sending out two resets a week, two a week on average. If your SME is average or below average, not even a great SME, then that's an on average, even if you're only at 80% commission, $5,000 passive income a month. So even bottom of all the things, if your SME is not that great, you're only at 80% and you're still doing two a week resets, kicking out extra 5,000 passive income on average is what they're seeing for agents. That to me is the easiest way to make a lot of extra money.
And I'll say, guys, I put in the comments here, larsonlifegroup.com/resets is all of the how-to. We've got videos and trainings on what questions to ask, what to prompt, what forms, the literal, actual, practical, how do I schedule a reset is right in there. Whether you want to schedule a reset with Warm Market or you've got a lead to schedule a reset with, that's right in this resets page. All the learning you need to practically do this is right there. Where did I get that from? larsonlifegroup.com/help. I scrolled to the reset page and I clicked it. It is literally right there for you. Sarah, you're getting a question. Actually, it looks like it got answered already. Look at that.
Yeah, let the SME guys. I'm the worst too. Like Jared brought up DFL with our friends who love to be out of debt, like the Dave Ramsey friends. And Jared's like, man, you should really look into this debt-free life thing we have. And then he says, well, tell me more about it. I made the grave mistake of being like, well, it's kind of an overfunded hole. I'm like, my God, Reineke, like I know better. Don't do that. Just send it to
Don't tell any Dave Ramsey fan
Oh,
that you're
God,
doing overfunded life
no. I
insurance
was like,
for
God,
anything.
Reineke, you know better. Like, don't fall into the trap of trying to explain these things out or even knowing too much. The very easy way, and I know Nikki Russell has some pretty good resources on that. For debt-free life, people, here's if they want to get out of debt and they're currently making overpayments. Debt-free life is not for people who are flat broke. Debt-free life for people who are in debt but are like, man, I'm paying two mortgage payments or I'm paying extra on these credit cards. There has to be some wiggle room in there. Okay. So people who are in debt but are paying extra, making some overpayments. Perfect. We have an expert that specializes in situations just like this. Let me connect you to them. Okay. For IULs, people that have waited a little too long to think about retirement, but they have a good monthly chunk they could put towards it. They're in their 40s. They're like, man, I could put $500-700 a month towards something. I know it's a little late. That's an IUL. That's just a basic idea of what that might look like. And for the annuity, lump sum of money, lazy money, lazy money, and on it needs to be typically more than 25,000. 25 is kind of the bottom. Prefer to be more than around 100,000 in minimum, but that's kind of just in basic terms the three kind of clues as you're being curious and talking to your clients that you're going to come across that would lead to a good reset. But it's the SME's job. I would encourage you, Jim, as you're growing your reset team, you want all of your SMEs to do all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot easier, right? And so in our group, all of them can do all of it and they work together really well. And the other thing, guys, is like what I see happen sometimes with SMEs, it's a little bit of a scarcity mindset, like I'm the SME for this agency, with their king hat on. Remember, if you SMEs are doing your job right, you're growing awareness, you're growing excitement. Like if you're an SME, you should be the first person. Hey, congratulations on your new promotion. I see you. Like it is your job, just like you're out in the community. If you are a State Farm agent, you're like, hey, great job on opening up your red carpet, brand new opening of a business, right? You'd be the first person out there to do that. It's your job to build those relationships and trust, right, with the people that you're going to be working with.
Yeah, and I'll tell you how easy this was. I was literally at a vow renewal. I texted you for Josh's number.
Yeah.
I'm at a vow renewal. I'm sitting next to an acquaintance I know from the neighborhood. He's a big, big real estate investor guy. And he's like, Jim, you're in life insurance, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what do you know about the infinite banking stuff? He's like, I've got to move money all the time. And he's like, I heard if I put money in, I can like pull it out, but it keeps growing stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, I've heard stuff. I don't know anything about it. I did not want to open my mouth because
Right.
I know
Yeah.
only enough to get myself in trouble.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, I've got people in my agency that know this stuff inside and out. Let me connect you. Meanwhile, he grabs a drink. I text Sarah, what is Josh Tatar's number? Like high net worth. I don't want to screw this up. And then I'm like, oh, hey, Matt, let me just connect you with a buddy of mine. So he, like, I didn't say a word. I didn't try to describe it. I didn't try to say what it was. I didn't talk about the companies we used. I said nothing but, dude, let me just connect you with someone that knows way more than me.
Yep.
That
No, for
easy.
sure. Yeah. And if I don't know if anybody put in there the Ike messaging, what I thought was really good about what he shared is that one of your goals as a producer needs to become a really good kicker, a really good resetter. And I thought when I was a third grade teacher, I loved when fourth grade teachers would say, oh, I can always tell who Reineke's kids are. I can tell they know their multiplication. Like my kids that I had stood out. And I took a lot of pride in that. And that's what I thought about when Ike was explaining, like, you want to take pride in my resets show up. My resets are the ones that show because I said, hey, Joe is an expert in this. He knows so much about this. Let me see, man, he has got a tight schedule. Okay, if I get you on his schedule, he is taking helping people get out of debt. He's got 5 people I know he's working with today. Man, I think I can get you on there Friday at 12:30, but you got to promise me you can show up because if I get you this appointment with him, because he is an expert at this, I got to make sure that you're going to be able to get to that, right? Like he gave some really good verbiage and he said, his people show up. His people show up because they've been trained to be good resetters. So that's going to be good for everyone. It's not going to waste their time. And it's not going to waste your time. It's not going to waste your client's time. And I would encourage you to get really good at that because we've been helping brand new agents, guys. Last thing I want to say is that this doesn't have to be something you wait until you're, at 100% before you start doing this. We're having brand new agents. In our new agent call, we're like, hey, repeat after me. I have a wealth management team. They're like, I have a wealth management team because you do. Isn't that great? So right now you can't write a policy because you're waiting on your contracts to come back, but you can start asking around. Ask around like, hey, do you have a financial planner? Do you have a guy you trust? Do you have an old 401k lying around? We're encouraging them to go ask those questions right out of the gate. And we've had brand new agents get $8,000, $9,000 deposits for kicking that out. Their mom has one, their uncle has one. Incredible. And if they get an $8,000 or $9,000 deposit right out of the gate, they're like, I am in, just like it did for me. I got that $7,000 deposit. I'm like, tell me more. I'm in. Yeah. So don't
Yep.
wait.
So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Um, we appreciate you.
I appreciate you, all of you.
Thank you. This is really good. We are going to become a resetting agency.
Yes.
And I've got to set some goals on what that looks like, but I'm going to be talking to a handful of you about becoming resetting agents. And I'm going to talk to all of you about getting good at asking the right resetting questions so you can start sending clients to our SMEs and making passive money without having to do anything but make a referral. You don't need to be the expert. You don't need to go through months of school and boot camps and ride alongs. You can literally kick it out today
Yeah.
and make money while you're continuing to make calls and continuing to help people.
Yeah. It's the easiest way. It's so
Cool.
fun. And remember, corporate leaves clues. If it's going to be 50% of theirs, probably should be 50% of your agency. Do the same math. UAOs, how many writers do you have? Times 5 to 7 sits times 0.25. That tells you how many resets should be popping out. And until you get to that number, you just got work to do.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, Larson Life Group. Appreciate y'all. Sarah, we love you. Thank you for everything you pour into us.
Of course.
Um, have a good night, everybody.
You do.
Bye.